I think my duck dealer is addicted to quack.
Aaron, Aaron.
When there's stuff on your mind and it's feeling unclear, just hop on the mic and speak without fear.
Aaron.
Let's air out.
What's going on, ladies and folks? Welcome to big ol' episode 50 of Air and Air Out. Who thought we'd make it here? Halfway to a hundo, almost a century club, 2 weeks away from the old 1 year anniversary. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, episode 50, Aaron's probably got some big things planned for this episode. And I can tell you right now that that's just not true. It's just not true, even in the slightest. It's 6 o'clock right now on Monday. I was very close to just deciding to not do it today and be like, I can just do it Tuesday. You can do Tuesday. I mean, no one really listens to it anyway, so it doesn't really matter when I record it. But I woke up from my nap. It was absolutely miserable outside today. It was like 40 degrees with the humidity. I felt like crap when I got home. Just a headache and exhausted, and my underwear was just like I had to wring it out, just soaked all the way through. It's my favorite pair of underwear too. It's Sax underwear. I don't know if I've ever talked about Sax on here, but I definitely, if I ever get sponsors, that's like one of them I want to get, so I can get free underwear and get my face on underwear. Gentlemen, if you haven't tried Sax underwear, highly recommend it. Although I talked to Will at work last week, and he's like not a fan of it. He said Lululemon underwear is better, which I've never tried Lululemon underwear, so I don't know. I haven't even looked at like what the price is, but I know Lululemon's like expensive. I have one pair of pants from there, ABC pants, that the other Will, my buddy, told me to get, anti-ball crushing pants. They're super comfortable, but they're like $130. So I can only assume. Sax underwear, it is like, it's pricey too. It's like, you can usually get them on sale for like $20, but on average you're spending like $30 a pair. I have like 21 pairs, but they have this like ballpark pouch, which is their thing, which just gives you so much nut space. It's incredible. And the underwear I was wearing today was like little chickadees wearing jackets. It's a nice pair of underwear. And yeah, I just soaked them just from taint to pubes all the way through. But yeah, so I came home and went to bed. And I was like, I'm just going to do the podcast tomorrow. I've got a group call with the old Barry crew at 8 o'clock tonight. So I'm like, I don't really have time to do a podcast and then, get it uploaded, then play guitar. And then hop on the call. But here we are. Here we are. I'm a man of my word. I said I wouldn't do Tuesdays anymore. And honestly, I think the podcast almost started on Tuesday, and we've almost done a full cycle of every day of the week that we have uploaded a podcast. It was like Tuesday, then I pushed it to Wednesday, then went Thursday, Friday. I don't think I actually ever did like weekend uploads, but it's definitely fully cyclical. So I was just like scrounging in bed because I didn't know what to talk about. Another shocker of this episode. So I was like looking through my Instagram photos, looking through old Facebook photos, looking through old camera photos, and just trying to come up with an hour of content. And I don't know if I got it. I've got enough stuff written down here that I'm hoping it'll like just spurt my mind onto different tracks. But only one way to find out. So as I said, it was super hot today. We're cutting front lawns. I'm stuck now that like everyone's leaving. I think there's like 15 of us, and we used to have 30 people. All my cushy jobs, I was working like a horse when I started working there before everyone showed up, and then I was smooth sailing for a few months, just like always on riding machines and doing super easy things, not breaking a sweat, not getting very many steps in, and it was glorious. It was a great way to spend my time. And now that everyone's gone, I'm back to just being just whipped. And we'd cut front lawns. Luckily, there's two of us, Kat and I. Kat's the new employee. I started. She's not an actual cat. I know it's kind of confusing. It threw me off for a bit there. But no, it's short for Catherine, which I guess I don't have her consent, but I only said her first name, so that counts. Yeah, we were cutting front lawns. It was like 40 degrees out, and I was miserable. So using that segue, let's talk about a couple things at Westmount that happened. First thing, Andy. Andy's a man who used to work for us. He left on Saturday. Saturday was his last day. Good guy. Like in his 40s. He was one of the defensive coaches at UW football. and he's the coach for Michael Juris, who I've mentioned on this podcast before. Another guy, James, who I haven't mentioned on this podcast before. And yeah, we got along well. He was a good guy, and now he's off. He's teaching. He's starting. Got a like a long-term LTO or something. Long-term occupation. I don't know what it stands for. But on, God, I want to say it was like Wednesday. I think Wednesday. He was just in a panic. He was just, scatterbrained. And we're like, what's going on, Andy? And he goes, my phone keeps calling 911. Like, out of nowhere, it just keeps calling 911. I don't know what to do. And everyone's like, that's kind of weird. Have you updated your phone recently? Did you get any water damage on? Did you drop your phone? Is it like, in your pocket, it's kind of easy to like access that emergency call button by accident? I had a phone back in 10th grade that kept calling 911. And since I was in 10th grade, I was super scared of it. So like I saw it called 911 twice. And then I just took the battery of the phone and put it in my bag. We were in Collingwood for music fest, which is like the big performance, I guess the big show of the band kids. That's like our competition. That's our Super Bowl. It's music fest in Collingwood, at least for like our area of it's like school boards. Simcoe County. We'll head up to I guess Toronto schools went there too. So I don't know how vast, like where all the schools came from, but yeah, there's a lot of kids there. And we were really shitty at Music Fest for a long time until the final year. Oh, I wish we got to hear the recording of it, but we were like a ragtag band, not doing much. We weren't performing very well together. And then like our performance was say at like 1:00. And then at noon, we found like a practice room to get into and just like ran our songs. And our teacher, Mr. Hathaway, was just like giving us tips. And something happened and just like everyone just came to play. It's like when you see regular season hockey versus playoff hockey, like it just gets way better. We just all showed up. So then we went and performed our set, and we absolutely crushed it. I think we played Pick Up the Pieces by Plain White Tees, Sway by Michael Bublé, and Superstition by Stevie Wonder. And we crushed them all. I had like dance moves going on. I was on the saxophone. I think the compliment we got was some kid came up to our teacher. It's like, you guys will be putting DJs out of business. And we absolutely rocked the house down. The way like the scoring works for Music Fest is it's like bronze, silver, gold, bronze, silver, high silver, gold. And I think if you get high silver or above, which is just gold, you get to move on to like nationals or whatever. It's like another competition the following year. So we crush our set, we go onto our bus. And the teachers come on and they're like announcing the results of the performances. And I think the junior band got themselves I think they got a high silver. And that was like a big deal because this is my 4th year in the band. And every other year we had never gotten past silver. We always got silver. I feel like that's just like the default like participation medal they give out. And Mr. Hathaway comes up and he's like, well, stage band, you guys, you did not get high silver. And we're like, God damn it. Shit, that sucks. We thought we did really well. I guess it was all in our heads. But then he goes, we got gold. And the bus just erupts. We were fired up. And it was so sick to like, we won our last Music Fest, which is super cool. But then since you get to go to nationals the next year, pretty much everyone that was in that band was leaving that same year. So I have no idea how they actually did it. If they even went to nationals because the whole band was gone. But at least we can like pat ourselves on the back that we got gold at Music Fest, and that was a big deal. And then Mr. Athlete's like, I got the recording, can't wait to play it for you guys. Never played it. We never got to hear it. I have no idea what we sounded like. He was a real scatterbrained guy. He's an interesting character. Like went through a divorce and stuff through our schooling, and he's I remember I tried to quit band once, then he found me in the cafeteria at lunch and like sat down with me, and that was super awkward and like trying to talk me back into getting into band. And I'd rejoin the band because I'm like, I never want to have this conversation again. I don't want to have a one-on-one conversation with you, sir. So I will get back to the band. Just please leave me alone. What was I saying with that? Oh, my phone, they kept calling 911. So yeah, in 10th grade, like we had like this little locker room. We kept all our backpacks, and I saw my phone and called 911 a bunch of times. So I like took the battery out, threw it in my bag, forgot about it for a few hours. We get back on the bus. I put the battery back in my phone. I check it, and my mom's called me like, "Hey, the police have been calling. You have to call them back, or else they're gonna send someone to the house." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." So I have to like, first of all, I'm like, "What number do I just call 911? Like, what number do I call to get a hold of the police?" And I guess it's like a non-emergency line. that you call to get a hold of like a non-emergency operator. And I had to like explain, who I am, what's going on, am I in danger? Because I guess they like heard like a bunch of people talking in the background to like, is this kid kidnapped? What's going on? And it was just like my classmates and stuff performing. And then I got home, and then the police did end up showing up at my door, and I had to like verify who I am. And they're like, "Yeah, you got to be more careful with your phone, wasting police resources, yada yada yada." So that was my experience with calling 911 much times. A terrified 10th grader, but yeah, Andy was very similarly like terrified the way I am. That's like just a call you don't of any of the calls you want to accidentally make. I feel like 911's just the only one you don't want to do. He's the only one that could probably like come with a charge. But he's like, walking around at lunchtime panicking, like, man, I don't know what to do. What's going on? And I guess his phone had gotten water damage before, and we were like, that's probably the culprit, Andy. Like, that makes sense. Like, the water got in there, and it keeps, it's messing with the circuits or the whatever. And he's like, he went into the manager's office to kind of talk to them, and he just storms back out, and he goes, my phone just FaceTimed my son, then called 911. I'm going home. And he just walked out the door and left. Didn't work his afternoon shift. And that was super funny, just seeing him in a panic. His phone keeps calling 911, which, I mean, everyone's like, the robots are going to rise up and, kill us and take us over. But I think, like, that's probably way more effective, is to, like, fuck with us in those, like, little subtle ways, calling 911. Or, like FaceTiming your mom if you're, like, watching porn and, like, right in the vinegar strokes. It's like, FaceTiming mom. It's like, hello, sweetie. And, like, no. Just ruin relationships. I think that'd be robots. If you're listening, that's a way more creative way than just like killing us. Just like make prank videos. Bring the genre back on YouTube. Just robots pranking humans. I think that'd be a good use of your time. So another thing that happened at work is our general manager, Brad. I don't know how to say his last name. I've always said Brad Dwench, and apparently it's like Dwink or Donk or Dunk. I don't know. DUENCH. He doesn't need consent because I don't really care about him. He will like send us messages into our like company app Club Core, a couple times a week, and the messages are always like brutal spelling, just terrible grammar. It's amazing. He sends this out to everybody, and like he obviously doesn't proofread it. One of my favorites was when he said we had a 10th T start rather than a 10th T start. He sent one today that they were talking like a barbecue on the weekend. They're like, a lot of members said the barbecue was the food they had at Westmount. It's like, that's not the compliment you're looking for. You forgot the word best, Brad. But yeah, he doesn't care. So there was a vote going on. I guess they want to get the clubhouse redone. And it was like a $25 million 10-year like renovation plan to get the clubhouse all up to date. And now I've only been in the clubhouse once. And honestly, I wasn't super impressed when I walked through it. It was like kind of like a fancy retirement home restaurant. It didn't really like inspire me to want to be a member here. The course is beautiful, but yeah, the clubhouse inside was like very, very like old people tailored. It felt like not like a super fancy clubhouse. I feel like you've seen, in the States and stuff like that, at much nicer places where they hold weddings and stuff. So they held a vote to see if they could get a new clubhouse and like renovate the whole property: tennis, pro shop, our mechanic shop, the clubhouse, and the members get to vote on it, and they voted no. I guess they tried the same vote last year and voted no as well, but Brad's like, keep trying to push it. So they voted no, and then Brad sent out a message like the morning after, kind of like, hey guys, disappointing news. The club has voted no on the renovations. It's upsetting, but we are going to persevere. And then at the very end of his message, he has a Martin Luther King quote that I'm trying to find it right here because it was just so tone deaf and so like out of touch. What was the quote? As Martin Luther King Jr. said, I'll read you the whole message. Good morning. Last night, the clubhouse and tennis project got voted down by the members. This might be disappointing news. However, we have to respect the process that the members have spoken. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. We will continue to move forward. Brad. I don't know how he didn't realize that this looks horrible on him, that you're using a quote from a man fighting for civil rights in the context of trying to get a multi-million-dollar renovation on your clubhouse for it's entirely old white people. Like people that would probably still own slaves if they had the option to, the people who are against civil rights. And he's attributing Martin Luther King to it. So all of like the young staff are like chiding about, like, did you see that Martin Luther King quote he used? So that was super funny. That was a great bright spot in the morning, seeing that just atrocious, misstep on his part. So that was great. And the last Westmount story I have, another fun one. I went golfing with young Ricky Bobby Coffee on Saturday, and right before we teed off, the head pro came and talked to us, and he's like, "Hey guys, in like 45 minutes there's gonna be a wedding, like reception at the third tee. The third tee box is like right next to the patio at the clubhouse, and they have like what is that thing called? We were just supposed to cut it down the lawn, like the arch that you kind of walk through, the white arch for like weddings and stuff. I don't remember what it's called. I feel like it's just a C. The chapel, yeah. So like, yeah, and like, it's gonna happen in 45 minutes, so you shouldn't have an issue. We moved the tee blocks down, like the blue and whites are now with the yellows and reds, but you can kind of hit from wherever you want. Like we said, it's not gonna be, you're gonna be there way past it by the time it goes off. And I think he did not account for us just being like atrociously slow golfers, because we only played 2 holes in that 45 minutes. And then so we roll up to the third tee box, and it's just a packed patio. Like every seat's taken. Robbie's like already panicking. He's a young man. He's like 19 years old. He's like, let's just go to the fourth tee. I don't want to hit in front of these people. And I'm like, well, he's like, and like, we're gonna ruin the wedding. I don't think we should do it. And I'm like, well, if they didn't want us to hit, like during the reception, they would have said, hey, just skip the third tee, go to the fourth. We're sorry for the inconvenience. But he didn't say that. He said, hey, just play from the lower tee box. Actually, he did say like play from whatever tee box you want. But I respected the tee blocks, and we went down to the lower one. And literally, I put my ball on my tee, put it in the ground, and you just hear the wedding music start playing. Dun, 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 and the bride is literally walking down the aisle as we're teeing up. Which, in hindsight, might have been like a better like situation for us, because if there wasn't something going on, it was like pre-ceremony, all those people on the patio are gonna be watching our tee shots, but instead they're gonna be watching the bride, which I'm sure honestly they're probably like a lot of husbands and boyfriends that were still just watching the tee shots, and we're like just totally focused on the golf going on, which I wish we hit some better shots. We both like shanked them to the right and like didn't hit anything very pretty, but we didn't go in the water and we didn't make a lot of noise, because like if we did hit like a hole-in-one or a 6 shot, I would have probably sallied. Or if you like just duff it into the water and just fuck, shit, no, as like the bride's like standing up at the altar. Yeah, so that was a super interesting experience, golfing during a wedding, during the walking down the aisle. That was a exciting time. I hope there's some wedding photos. You can see just like Robbie and I's heads down the tee box poking over. But I'll never know who that wedding was for, so it's gonna be tough to track down those photos. But that was the Westmount portion of this podcast. And this is going to be a very disjointed podcast, like they all are. But I just was, like I said, I was just looking through my phone, trying to find things, and I found a picture, very minimal story. And I'm going to have to pardon my language here. It's not very politically correct. But there's a photo I found, like, of a bathroom floor and in toilet paper. Well, I guess I'll just give you the context first. We're at our friend's house in Hamilton. And I had to go to the bathroom. We were drinking. This, as most of my stories, I was drinking. Which everything like before 2021, I guess. Before August 2021. Everything pre that. My stories probably involved me drinking or on weed or something. So you just have to bear with that. And I had to go to the bathroom, so like ran upstairs, and Will had to go to the bathroom too. So he was trying to get to the bathroom before me, but I just happened to get in before him. So like, haha, sucker. And then I went to the bathroom, went pee, and like, okay, Will's gonna come in behind me, and I'm gonna leave him a fun little message. So I took a bunch of toilet paper, and I made a dick out of toilet paper on the floor, and then above it it said fag. I know it's not a great term. If I could take it back, probably would have said something more creative. The dick would have stayed for sure though. That was guaranteed. Yeah. So I write that all out. It's taking an extra like 5 minutes in the bathroom after peeing, and then I open the bathroom door. Not Will there. No, Will had gone downstairs to go to the bathroom. Instead, it's like this giant, like, fucking football player dude sitting at the door. And I just, like, kind of walk past him, and I just hear him go, nice. And then he closes the door. He's a nice guy. But that, like, immediate shock of me knowing what I just wrote and did in the bathroom and it not being for the intended audience, yeah, it was a real egg on my face moment. Yeah. Next story. This is the quickie. Another one, hockey road trips. So I did tell you the story of getting piss thrown in my face on our first hockey road trip, and then like having to crawl through the window. That was a good time. Getting White Castle. We had 2 other hockey road trips that I've been sitting on these stories because I'm like, oh, I'll just have Will on the podcast. We'll make a 3-man podcast. We'll talk all about it. But it's not going to come to fruition anytime soon. So I might as well just tell these stories and get them out there. And if we do have Will on the podcast, we can like elaborate more and it'll be more fun, chatting about it. So we went to Columbus twice. So on the second Columbus trip, again, all my memories start like after the hockey game. Like the first day is kind of like boring. I remember we got there at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Immediately, like we wanted to find booze, so we went to like a convenience store down the road from our hotel and bought. They only had 6-packs. We all bought like 4 6-packs and like just picking all the fun stuff they have because you can't get booze at convenience stores in Ontario or anywhere in Canada. I don't think. It might be different in like Quebec and stuff like that. But yeah, we just loaded up on booze and then so after the hockey game goes off, there's this like really cool bar that we like to hang out at that we found the first time we went to Columbus. It's like walking distance from the arena. So we go there after, and there's this guy that's just like getting really buddy with us, and I guess he's some kind of party promoter. But he's like, "Let me get you guys some shots," and he got us these cherry bombs or something like that. It was like Red Bull and some like fruity drink and vodka. It's a very tasty, like very red shot. And we took those, like, these are delicious. And he's like, let me get you another round. So he got us another round of those shots. And then he's like giving us his spiel, like, hey guys, I'm promoting this party at this location. Like, gave us a flyer. He's like, we would love to have you guys there. You guys are some fun guys. Like, it's gonna be a blast. And we're like, oh hell yeah, man, that sounds like a great time. That seems sick. And he's like, oh yeah, very excited to see you guys there. I gotta go talk to some other people, but yeah, can't wait to see you at this party at 11 or whatever. So as soon as he leaves, we're like, there's no chance we're going to this party. Like, absolutely not. Thanks for the free shots, but yeah, that's just not going to happen. So after we kind of like finish up drinking and stuff down there, we end up walking back to the hotel. And I think Ethan had gone into the hotel room to go to the bathroom. And then I was outside with myself, Will, and another guy. I don't want to say his name because maybe he doesn't want this story out there. But I remember Will and our other buddy were like, looking at the road, and I was like being drunk and sneaky. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go hide behind this pillar, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, where'd Aaron go? What happened to Aaron? And then I'll like jump out and scare him and be a blast. So yeah, I go hide behind the pillar, wait like 30 seconds to a minute, waiting for them to like walk inside the hotel so I could like sneak up behind them, and they never walked by. And then I like kind of hop out from around the column I was hiding behind. They're gone. They're just vanished. And immediately my head's like, oh my god, they've been kidnapped. Some van just rolled up, tossed them in the back. These are 20-year-old guys. Tossed them in the back and just zipped off, and we're never going to find them. Like, we're leaving tomorrow, and we have no idea where these guys are. So I kind of, like, wandered into the street and, like, looked down the street, looking all around. Can't find them. Eventually give up after, like, 3 minutes. Like, they're just gone. There's nothing else I can do. It's out of my hands. So I go back up to the room to talk to Ethan. And we chat for a bit. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where they went. They disappeared. I don't know what's going on. And then we both just agree, like, yeah, they're just gone, nothing we can do. We'll have to just leave in the morning and just kind of like explain to the parents that we kind of lost them in Columbus. Don't know what happened. I don't know if we were texting them or something like that. I'm sure they had phones. I don't know why we didn't think of that, or calling them. We probably called them and they just didn't answer. Yeah, so it's maybe like 45 minutes. We finally, like, the hotel room door opens up and they come in. And we're like, guys, where have you been? And they're like, you will not believe. We had the best time. We found the coolest place. So I guess they had left. They wanted to go find more of those cherry bombs because they loved them so much. They're like going to look for a bar. And I think they did find a bar. And they got a few shots of cherry bombs. And then they left. And then Will's like, I don't really know where our hotel is. I don't like have a good sense of direction. And then our friend's like, yeah, I know exactly where it is. Follow me. It's this way. So he starts leading the way. And that's when they find this magical place they're describing. They're like, oh man, there are these cool, like, big stone walls, and there's this, like, cool park, and, like, these very intricate, dope statues. It was fantastic. And, like, we had to go to the bathrooms, like, we peed there and stuff. And, like, oh my god, it was absolutely the coolest place we've ever seen. And we're like, no way. Like, did you take pictures or anything? Like, yeah, we took a lot of pictures. Like, this place is so sweet. You gotta see it. So Will pulls out his phone and shows me the first picture. And it's a picture of him, like, one hand, like, on his cheek, like, lying on his side, one hand on his hip, smiling, in a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey, like, having the time of his life, like a beach photo, like, hey, what's going on, ladies? That kind of pose. And I look at this picture and I'm like, oh my God, guys. Because he's laying on that, on top of like that stone coffin they have at war memorials. Like there's names and stuff carved into the front of the coffin, and they were clueless. I'm like, boys, that was a war memorial that you were just at. And they're like, their color goes out of their face. They're shocked. They're, this. It was not intentional. They were not trying to disrespect the troops. They literally thought they found the coolest place, but they're just drunk stupid to not realize that it was a war memorial. They flipped through more of the photos, and like the statues they saw were like statues of like fallen heroes. The place they peed was like on the wall of heroes. There's a picture of our friend just pissing on the wall of all like the names of people that have passed away. It was so incredibly disrespectful, but from my perspective, so incredibly funny that they were so clueless, and like it looked awful. If they got caught, they would have been done for sure. A couple boys in Leafs jerseys pissing on the Korean War Memorial in Columbus, like it's a tough look. But I was dying laughing, and that's like one of the stories. I hope Will still has the photos so I can like see those and just reminisce. But I don't know, they're on an old phone. He might have just gotten rid of them, just get rid of the evidence. But yeah, that killed me. The boys accidentally vandalizing a war memorial. Not even vandalizing, like urinating on it's like another. I guess it's probably better than, like, the act of peeing on something itself is more disrespectful than painting it, but painting it lasts longer. So I feel like in hindsight, they probably made the right choice, which they were never gonna spray paint it anyways. But so that was like the main story I remember from the second Columbus trip. And then after our 2 Columbus trips, we decided to switch it up and we go to New Jersey the next time. I had Delilah at the point, so I drove us down in Delilah. Not too bad of a drive, honestly. It's like 9 hours. Maybe 8 hours without stops, and I think maybe it took us 10 or 12 hours actually. Now I think about it, 'cause we stop for food a lot. We are hungry boys, and we like to hit up all the American fast food we can. Try all the delicacies that the States has to offer. So a few stories I remember from this one. One of them I kind of already mentioned. I just make it rain on homeless people. Like, I take out cash from the ATM and just give it away to every homeless person I can see. I walk down the street. We got like a 5-minute walk to a bar. By the time we get to the bar, I'm like, I'm out of cash. I got to pay with credit. I got nothing left. I took out $100. It's gone. Just gave it to people. I hate American money though. Every time we go to the stadium and we have American money, and I have to buy a drink, I don't have a wallet. I have a Ridge wallet. That little rectangular like metal one, and I got it in 2015 from their first Kickstarter. So I'm an OG. So Ridge wallet, also a sponsor I should get, so I can get a new Ridge wallet, because mine is so old, but it's lasted 7 years. So I've never lost it, which is actually incredible. But yeah, there's no spot for cash in there, so I always just stick the cash in my pocket, and then I got to pay for a beer and just pull this wad of cash and drop it on the counter and start pulling out, because all the bills look the exact same, trying to find $8 or whatever it is for a beer. And then the bartenders or waitresses are like, it looks like tissue paper, just all crinkled up in terrible money. They hated me, because it does not go into their register easily either. It's just all crumpled up. Yeah, giving money to homeless people. We were packing lips. Remember Will had gotten us into packing lips. The old dip the pouches. So you don't get the loose tobacco in your mouth and teeth. It's the pouches that you just stick in your mouth. And I remember Will would always be like, I do a double decker. I do one on the bottom lip, one on the top lip. It gives you a good buzz. And I'm like, of course, I like to aim for the top. I like to always shoot for the highest. If I'm gonna do something that enhances my my mental state, I'm going all the way. I'm gonna hit as much nicotine as I can get. I'm gonna drink as much as I can. I'm gonna smoke as much weed as I can. Just total teetotaler. It's all or nothing for me. So I'm doing double lip packs for most of the night. Buzzing real hard. It was a great buzz. Spitting in the cup is gross. I don't like that part of it. And we're doing it at the game. Still don't remember anything from the game. That was the game that MacLeod got his wrist slit and he got bloody. I said this story a few weeks ago, and we don't remember that at all. Don't remember anything from the game. So we get back to the Airbnb we're renting, and I was feeling real good. We've been drinking since noon, packing lips since noon, and I'm like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna do a quad decker. 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Ultimate buzzage. So I do that, and for maybe 2 minutes, I'm feeling on top of the world. The brain is just in another stratosphere of buzz. It's light year. I'm Buzz Lightyear up there. And after that 2 minutes, immediate just vomit all over myself. Just too much of a head rush. Can't handle it. They warned me too. You're gonna puke. There's no chance you can do a 4 lip pack. Not even trying 3 in between. Just 2 to 4. So like, yeah, I feel the vomit coming and like sprint to the bathroom and kind of like puke on the bathroom floor, trailing into the toilet. I caught a lot of it. Um, take the lips out, put them in the toilet, flush it down. They're like, we told you, Aaron. They told you. What were you thinking? I'm like, yeah, that was stupid. I should stick with two. So I immediately, in my head, I'm like, well, they're out of my mouth. So therefore, I'm no longer buzzing. Immediately toss two back in. And like the second they go back in, maybe like 30 seconds later, vomit all over myself again. Just back to back vomits from just too much nicotine. So yeah, I can't handle four lips. That's the moral of that story. The old metal detector. So after giving away all my money to homeless people, we get to the stadium, and they gotta metal detect everyone going through. And I'm the last one to walk through. So Ethan, Will, and our other friend go through. They're all fine, and I walk through. The thing dings off. What do? Immediately stick my hands up, like I'm guilty of something. Just hands straight in the air, like I'm sorry, don't shoot me, ma'am. And then like the what's it called? The metal detector attendant is just like, put your damn hands down. I don't know if she had that thick of an accent, but in my head and retelling of the story, that's just the accent that fits. She was just like a sassy black lady, and I just looked like a stupid white guy, and I just had a belt on. That was it. But the immediate fear of, oh my God, we're in the States, I'm gonna get shot. The cops are gonna shoot me for this. I don't know what I've done, but I'm innocent, I swear. And the boys still love that, and I love it too. It's a great anecdote. Um, Gotta mute censor that. I was doing so well not saying his name. So I, like I said seconds ago, give a lot of money to homeless people, and our other friend is a generous man as well. He would, not give 20s and 10s away to people. He would give like, dollars, $1 or $2 here and there. Very nice. People needed like bus fare or something. He'd give it, and it's all fine. So we're at the train station in New Jersey, heading to New York for the day, and I think already a few times today, like a lot of people at the train station were like asking, like, hey, I'm just trying to get home. Can you just please give me like a buck or two? And he was always like giving it away. And I guess he'd like, given away like he was just using all his loose change and stuff that he didn't need. So we get to the platform, and another guy walks up to us. He goes, hey guys, I need $2 to get a train ticket. Do you guys, anything you can give helps. So our friend reaches into her pocket, grabs the last thing he has, which is a dime, and just like places the dime right in the guy's hand and like gives him a little smile. The guy said anything you want, and he obliged. He gave away the last of his spare change that he got. Like, just a great guy. And the guy just looks at his hand and looks back at our friend, just dumbfounded that someone would possibly think he wants a single dime. And he goes, is this some kind of joke? And our friend's like, He goes, you're a real asshole, you know that? I don't want a fucking dime. And he gives the dime back to him, like, you're a real piece of shit. And then he walks away, and our friend's kind of like stunned at the interaction. He wasn't sure what went wrong. The guy said, anything you have helps. So he gave him, I said his name again, so he gave him anything he had. And he was still like, he never really, the three of us were dying laughing at this encounter, because it was so funny to see from a spectator. But he never really like got on the comedy train of it. He was always like just confused by the entire interaction. So that was super funny. Hopefully these stories translate outside of me being there, and I am explaining them accurately. The final thing was Will put a hole in the wall in the Airbnb. I think he was trying to bring a chair down the stairs, and he just like dropped it from the top of the stairs and put a big old hole in the Airbnb wall. And then luckily he's a contractor. Well, he's worked for a contractor. So like the last day we were there, we had to go find a Home Depot and got like plaster and paint, and that might have been it, honestly. Just plastered and repainted that one patch on the wall and just hoped the Airbnb host never saw it, and there's no charge for it. We got away with it. And there was like, it was one of those Airbnbs where there's a good amount of rules. Also, they had bunk beds, and that was cool. I got to sleep on a bunk bed. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was our New Jersey trip. Wonder if there's more stories I'm forgetting that I'll get reminded of when Ethan listens to this one. Yeah, those are great stories. I really enjoyed that trip, and hopefully now that COVID's gone, we can maybe even plan another trip this December. I'm gonna be off work, so I'm gonna have some free time. That'd be a fun little road trip, kind of regroup with the boys, get more podcast material because I desperately need it. What else have I got? Satisfying things. I just scrolled down on my list. Oh. No, yep, satisfying things. Things I find satisfying. Have you guys ever heard of trypophobia? Trypophobia is the fear of things with multiple holes in them. It's a very odd phobia, but maybe look it up and see if you have it. If you get very uncomfortable looking at photos of things with lots of holes in them, you probably have trypophobia. I think I have the opposite though, called trypophilia. I love that shit. I love seeing things with a bunch of little holes in their back, and I just want to like plug each of those holes. I remember I saw a picture of like a hummingbird that was storing acorns in a tree, and there's just hundreds of acorns in the trunk of this tree, and I just want to like pluck all those acorns out one by one. That'd be so satisfying to me. And it all started from this like National Geographic documentary I saw in like 4th grade, I want to say, about this Suriname toad, I think it is. And it's this big, wide toad that lays its eggs in its own back. So its back's got a bunch of holes in it, and then when it's time to hatch the eggs, all the little frogs just like shoot out of its back and go swimming. Like hundreds of little frogs. The old animals just like make a bunch of kids because only 2 of them are gonna live anyways. And I remember watching that and being like so satisfied. Like I just want to run my hand over the back of that frog and feel all those little holes. And just seeing the frog shoot out of them was like so satisfying to me, where my classmates were like getting all grossed out. And ever since then, I've had a real attraction to trypophobia photos. Not like sexually, but like interestingly. I could look at those photos all day. I love seeing. There's a subreddit for it, trypophobia. Check it out if you want to see a bunch of photos of it. But yeah, it's super satisfying stuff. I remember seeing this video of a guy making, what was it? Like he's making like silicone or something like that, like rubbery stuff. I think he was making it for making a case for a Pokeball. So like that soft squishy gel case that you put it in, and you fill your mold inside that. He was making that, and like he vacuum sucked it out of it to suck all the air out of the mixture, so there's no air bubbles in it. And just the image of all the air flowing out of the silicone was like super satisfying as well. That's gonna be harder to describe over video, I'll be honest. So and another satisfying thing, I remember seeing a documentary about the dirtiest man in the world. It's like a guy in Iraq or something who has like, he's a nomad. He lives by himself out in the desert, and lives by himself, and he hasn't showered in 30 years or something. He's like the dirtiest man in the world, just a permanent layer of dirt over him, and he like just smokes cigarettes and like burns feces and stuff like that. He's kind of a weird character, but seeing the dirtiest man in the world, all I could thought was, I would love to give him a bath. I would love to just wash him off and just like see the dirt pouring off his skin. Like, it would be so satisfying. He'd probably feel honestly way better too. Like, when I go a week without showering, I'm just miserable and grumpy, don't want to do anything. Then I shower and feel clean, feel way better. Like, it's life changing just to take a shower. So I bet that's probably why he's been out there for 30 years. It's just one shower will turn his life around. He's probably gonna, he's probably got some big ideas. He just doesn't have the right methods to utilize them yet. So yeah, it'd be like power wash, those power washing videos, like clean off a deck or clean off some, interlock stone. It'd be like that, except a homeless man being washed. And like, I want to raise enough money that I can give that man a bath. That'd probably be that's on my bucket list for sure. Bathing the dirtiest man in the world. I wonder how he's doing actually. Maybe this was years ago I saw this video, so maybe someone has already cleaned him. And that'd be, it'd be disappointing that I didn't get to do it, but I'd love to see a video of that, just washing him off, washing his hair. I'm sure there's so much dirt in his hair that would just, the water in the bathtub would just be brown. You have to change it a few times. Probably not even a bathtub. You'd probably want to do just like a garden hose and a little kiddie pool in your backyard, I think that's probably the most effective way to do it. And that is all the like conscious thoughts. So I got really deep into like my phone notes. I have a ton of different note folders, and I did find actually something that might be useful in future episodes. Like 5 podcasts I recorded by myself in like 2016. I haven't listened to them in a long time. I'm sure they're terrible. We're not going to listen to the nuclear option. That is something I'm just holding on to. The nuclear option, if you don't know, is a podcast I recorded with Ethan, Will, and our other roommate Anthony, and we got violently drunk, like way too drunk. We recorded at like 1 a.m. and we'd been drinking since 6, and just recorded on my phone. And I had like written down some topics, and it's just the most inappropriate, rude, disgusting, like just everything that people have been canceled for. I feel like we hit every single one in this podcast. Like it would ruin all of our reputations if it got out. And I have the only copy still on my phone, and I call it the nuclear option because I'm like, if anything ever happens, if anyone gets ever too out of line, I'm going to deploy the nuclear option. I'm going to release this, and we're all done for, you know? And that's telling Ethan, like, that's the plan for this podcast. Build it up big enough, then just release the nuclear option and watch it all come crumbling down. Like, that'd be great. But we're just insulting, like, racist, sexist, disableist, just everything. We took chunks out of ourselves, too. We took everybody down, though. Just absolutely horrible things were said in that podcast. So that one will not get released. But there are like older ones that I have, podcasts like 1 to 4 or something, where it's just me drunk because I thought I was funnier when I was drunk and more creative. I wasn't though. Actually, I think I'm going to play a clip at the end of this podcast of like a 4-minute clip of me. It's just called comedy. And it's me trying to talk through a comedy routine in my phone. And it's not good. It's not good. I swear way too much. I lean into the word fuck like way too much and just like keep repeating it. But yeah, I'll stick that kind of near the end of this podcast. But yeah, those other podcasts, I gotta give them a listen and see what I can do with them. But those are kind of be fun things to react to. See like the actual original podcast. They didn't have that podcast. Didn't have a. I think I called it Talking Cocking with Aaron Brocking, and it's just not a Aaron Era. It's a much better title. But yeah. So I found there's like a bunch of other notes in my phone of just like joke ideas and old stuff from like 2016, 2017 that I just had written down. And the only 2 things honestly I took from them was you don't take a bath in someone else's house. That was just like a thought on its own, and that reminded me of a time where I was drunk and I was out with Ethan and some of his friends, and we were going over to one of his classmates' houses. He was throwing a party. So we go to the party. I was drinking tequila at the time. I think I'd been out the night before and like got through a certain volume of it, and it was like the perfect amount to get like the perfect buzz that you're like just feeling really good all night long. I just put it into a water bottle and was just like drinking that all night long, just sipping on it. But then I didn't do that the second night. I just grabbed the bottle, whatever was left in it, and like before we left, I had finished, you know, half a bottle of tequila or something, maybe 2/3 of a bottle of tequila or whatever. That's my pregame, and then we walked out to this party. So like by the time we get to the party, I'm just hammered already. I remember chatting to some people. I talked to some girl for a long time. I don't remember anything about her. I don't remember what. I think she was like really into the conversation. I was just like drunk and going along with it and just not sure what's going on. And then we end up in like the host of the party's bedroom, and he had an ensuite bathroom. And for some reason, I'm like, I'm gonna go take a shower in this guy's bathroom. So yeah, I go into his bathroom. I take a shower, use his towel, put my clothes back on, thinking it's just like a funny. I'm just thinking I'm so funny. It's not. I mean, yeah, it's not that funny of a gag taking a shower at someone's party in their ensuite bathroom. And then this, like the worst part, is then I like get out of the shower. I'm like looking through his drawers for clothes, and I find this T-shirt of his, and I, you know, non thinking about it, just throw the T-shirt on. Ethan goes, "Oh man, that's like." He was like a Chance the Rapper shirt, I want to say. And he's like, "Oh man, he loves Chance the Rapper, dude. That's like his favorite shirt." I'm like, "No way, that's so funny that I found his favorite shirt," and I threw it on. So then he comes, the host of the party comes through the door, and he like sees me in the Chance the Rapper shirt. He goes, "No way, dude, I love Chance the Rapper too. Like, oh man, let me get my shirt." So then he goes and looks in his drawer and looks for a bit, and then he gets a little suspicious. Then he looks back at me and goes, "That's my shirt, isn't it?" I'm like, "No, it's not." And he goes, I know that's my shirt. Like, please take off my shirt. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You're insulting me saying that this is my shirt. I think I'm like playing it to the crowd. You know, be like, oh man, we're all in on this joke that it is his shirt. I'm gonna be like pretend it's not his shirt. It was just me being an asshole. That was it. There was no joke in it. In reality. So this went on like way too many. He was getting like very upset and me just deny. This is not your shirt. And then at some point he got like super frustrated and like walked out like I can't deal with this, and he left, and I like took the shirt off, put it on his bed, put my shirt back on. I was like, we gotta go, let's get out of here. And then we left. So yeah, you don't take a shower, you don't take a bath in someone else's house, you don't take a shower in someone else's house and put on their clothes and then tell them it's not their clothes either. So that's just some life advice I got for you. The last thing I wrote down is guy with no hands wants to be a crip. I don't know where this idea came from. I guess it's like you can't throw up gang signs. I don't know. That's it. I don't know. I'm trying to deduce this from myself in 2016 or something. Guy with no hands wants to be a crip. That's it. And that's everything I wrote down for this podcast. So I think a good way to, kind of wrap this bad boy up would be to play you that me doing a little comedy routine from 2017. And I guess, I gotta preface this. I swear a lot. It's not good. It's not. And it's this honestly just like further proof to myself that I'm not funnier when I'm drunk. I'm much more clever and creative. Maybe this podcast isn't like a sure sign of it, but I swear most of the time I'm funnier when I'm not drunk. So yeah, why don't we play this clip, and then I'll get back to you.
All right, so I'm just recording this because actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to Will's room because I have such confidence issues. I don't want any neighbors to hear me saying this shit. So let's turn on the light, turn off the fan. No one's gonna hear me in here. So I've always thought about having a life or a career in Showtime, I guess, whether being stand-up or fucking the YouTube video I just made or being an actor, which I'm pretty damn good at that, not gonna lie. But there's a couple bits I've been thinking about. I mean, really, it's only two that I don't write a lot of comedy. I just think about it when whatever shit happens to me in class and that shit. So I'm just gonna record these for myself in case I ever forget them. Do you ever think that Earth might be like the fucking ghetto of the universe? Like, think about other species looking down on us, and they're like, yo, these fucking Earth dudes, they're just killing anything that moves on their planet, including each other. They're up there fucking hanging each other. They're slitting each other's throats. They're shooting each other. They see animals. They're hitting them with cars. They're shooting them. They're fucking up everything on the planet. Like, they got it good. They got water, which is super rare. We fucking hope we want water. Up here over on Mars, we want water. Our water's dried up and froze. Like, and they're over here, they're pissing in it. They're throwing garbage in it. Earthlings are fucking cunts. Like, do you think that alien species are like driving by Earth and like, honey, roll up the windows. It's Earth coming up on the right. Don't touch that. Or like when aliens like they fucking wet the bed or some shit. Like, honey, you gotta get this shit on track. Do you want to be an Earthling for the rest of your life, huh? Do you want to be human? That's what I thought. Get your life in order. Like, Earth is definitely like, we're definitely lower tier in the fucking galaxy. Like, you think why people are like not responding to our messages? They're getting them. They're just not replying. It's like, we're sending out the fucking, we are humans, here's our music, here's our genetic code, and they're like getting them like, oh, it's fucking Earth again. Ignore it. Guys, don't reply. Fucking block the number. Like, there's a whole galactic species, but because we're such a shitty species, just fucking each other up, we are not allowed into the hierarchy. Like, they just do not care about us. Like, just think about, I always think about aliens, like, coming to Earth. Everyone's like, oh, did aliens come to Earth? I think one did, and his name was Jesus Christ. Like, aliens sent this ultimate being down to Earth named Jesus, and he comes in as a fucking god. He's like, let me show you our ways. And he's walking on water, and like, holy shit. He's turning water into wine, like, no fucking way. And what do? We nail him to a fucking cross. Like, come on. We nail him to a cross, and then not only do we kill him, what do we do after that? We call it that day Good Friday. Like, what the fuck? And it's like, we just killed him, fucking nailed him to a cross, called it Good Friday, and now everyone in their house has fucking crosses with Jesus stuck on it. Like, we're celebrating his death. What the fuck is going on? No wonder no one wants to talk to us. We're fucking psychotic.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from Aaron 2017. You want to hear some of the other lines I'd written down in that comedy folder? You can see if any of these you think any of these are good. Um, Dodging cum like villagers from Pompeii. Jacking off with bad internet is like masturbating to a PowerPoint. Last slide is always a dude. Uh, when white people pick cotton, they would sing ABBA. Um, Man with no hands has ambition to be a crip. Uh, the fight vest, that was my idea of like so they make these like video game vests where like when you get shot, it like simulates like an air pressure that you got shot in that area. And then my idea was just like a vest you put on, and then it feels like, and then a dude punches you in the face if you're playing like a fighting game. That was it. Um, Otterbox for Babies is in here. That is in here. Hot Ones parody, but taking punches from UFC fighters. Pretty much the same idea as the fight vest. Yeah, not honestly not great ideas in here. Nothing I think I'm actually gonna use in here. But what else do I have in here? I had another list of drink your banana milkshake and respect your elders. I remember singing that to a kid on Halo. I met this guy Orange, who's playing Halo 5 one night. This really deep voice guy came on. I was chatting with him, and then he's like, "I'm 15 years old." I was like, "What the hell?" And I sang him that song. Drink your banana milkshake and respect your elders. What do we got here? My famous burritos. I don't know what that is. Uh, you don't take a bath in someone else's house. You don't accidentally buy a jacket. That's, I guess. When would you accidentally buy anything though? Hey dude, go on, comma. He wasn't talking. Yeah, these are not great. Gwyneth Paltrow won an Oscar for being shot by J-Lo in Jenny from the Block. It's a dark movie called Jenny with the Glock. Potential? Potential movie? Jenny with the Glock? I'm still Jenny with the Glock. Gonna cap you if you are a moth. No, the moth does not rhyme with Glock. Gonna murder them around the clock. Um... Yeah, bring the bucket. We're adults. Oh yeah, the quote wall. I was trying to remember the quote wall. We the dumbest thing I ever heard. The dumbest thing I ever heard was from Ethan. A girl at Waterloo in our second year. We had just moved into our place on Churchill. And this was like frosh week, and like a Eng student got struck by lightning and died on campus. And I don't know if I told this story on the podcast already before. But yeah, she died, and then Ethan was like feeling profound, and he goes, "It was me, Ethan, and Will living in this house." And Ethan goes, the way I see it, the thing with lightning is you either live or you don't." And Will goes, "Wow, yeah, never really thought about it that way." And I go, "What's the other option?" Like, you can say that for absolutely anything. You either live or you don't. The thing about car crashes is you either live or you don't. The thing about eating soup is you either live or you don't. Like, there's no in between. You're either alive or you're dead. Like, it's not a profound statement whatsoever. It's just the most generic statement I've ever heard. And then Will also said something very stupid, I think last year. Yeah, I think it was here at this house. And Will likes to buy those like big tubs of chewing tobacco from the reservation. He uses them when he's golfing. So he's got this like, yeah, big tub that he'd been working on all summer whenever he golfs. And I think he just finished like the last one on our couch. And he was like looking at the tin. And he goes, "Is there tobacco in this?" And I'm like, "Dude, what do you think it is?" Like, that's literally all tobacco. And he goes, I knew there was nicotine in it, but I didn't know there was tobacco in here. And those are the two stupidest things I've ever heard. Marin said something really stupid at the tournament one day. Like I said, "What's your biggest fear?" And she said, "Boats, big boats." I'm like, "Why?" And she's very confused by how anchors work. She's like, "Why does the anchor only stop the boat when it's in the water, but if it's on the boat, it doesn't stop the boat?" And honestly, it was one of those things where I'm like, I know the answer to this, but I'm so dumbfounded that I can't explain it. Yeah, so those are probably the three stupidest things I ever heard. So congratulations to Will, Ethan, and Marin for saying the stupidest things I've ever heard. I've probably said some very stupid things too, honestly. So I mean, what else do we have in this quote wall folder? What's the ETA on that sausage? I remember Will said that once and it cracked me up. Just to, use some military codes for a sausage. Oh, shit, where'd it go? Where'd that list go? The heir to the chair. That's just a great nickname I gave to Will, and he never used it. His family owns a chair company, Nightingale. And Matt said he's the heir to the chair because he's going to get that chair company when everyone dies. And yeah, I wish he ran with that more often. I want to see his sickness dick. I don't know what that means. So baked it did the run high. Yeah, the quote war's not great, especially without context. But yeah, get the bucket, we're adults. I don't know, I don't know what the context is of that, but I do like that one. Yeah, get the bucket, we're adults. Like, if we weren't adults, what were we using? I don't know. Oh man, yeah, this is just the podcast of me reading my notes and seeing how unfunny I am. That's it. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading to myself here. I'm really boring you guys. But that's about it. Let me see if I had anything else in this podcast notes. What are you? Question mark. It's embarrassing. I'm a child abductor. Dan Francisco. I wrote that down because I thought it was a funny name. A guy named Dan Francisco. Detective Dan Francisco. Cleaning up crime in the streets of LA. Because it's not even in San Francisco. You'd think he'd be in San Francisco, but he's not. The quietest whistle. Someone should invent the quietest whistle. It just goes against the purpose of a whistle. I think a lot of these I've already read on the... I'm afraid to play dead because what if my body thinks it's real and I die? Like, what if you're really good at playing dead and your brain's like, oh my god, we're dead. Well, I guess better shut her all down, and then you die. Like, you're just way too good at playing dead. Like, imagine you tell your dog to play dead and then just die. Or, like, your kid. Like, hey, honey, play dead. And then just die. That'd suck. That was like one of the sketches we filmed a few weeks ago. Like, the initial idea that led to the idea was, like, it's kind of funny to die in a public place because then everyone has to deal with your body. Like, if you're like hanging out with all your friends and you just spontaneously die, it's kind of funny because then now, like, you just ruin their night. Like, if you're watching a movie, do they decide to, like, well, he's already dead and that's what just finish the movie, or now they have to, like, deal with you and, like, this just a dead body in the room. It's kind of gross. Yeah. And then that led to a video idea that you'll see hopefully in a few weeks. I got all the footage now from Martin, so just got to edit it this week. Got a nice long weekend that I can look at it too. If you had a wingman, a guy named Wang, he'd be your wing wang. Forgive me, Father, for I have bowled. That was a shirt I wanted to make with a bong on it. Women have a baby factory with a jizz key. Guess who's got the jizz? Men. Night vision glasses just makes everything look like nighttime. Yeah. Respect for the dead is bullshit. They're gone. Disrespect me all you want when I'm gone. Honestly, yeah, do whatever you want. Say whatever you want about me. Do whatever you want with my body. I don't care. Once I'm gone, like, it'd be great if you like Weekend at Bernie's being like, have a party and like everyone's like playing around with my body. I think that'd be sick. That'd be a great send off. But I guess it'd only really work if I died as like a young man. It'd be weird if like I'm an old guy and all these other old people were like playing around with my body. Kid having photos of pedophiles on his computer. Like the kid's attracted to his neighbor, Because pedophiles usually have pictures of kids on their computer, but a kid has pictures of pedophiles on his computer. Zoom detention. If you get put in Zoom detention, there's just you in a private call with a teacher, just sitting silently, and like you got to keep your camera on. How do I know you're in detention? Yeah, I feel like a bunch of these I've already read. God, the business. That was like a series idea I had. God, the general overworld director. So God is like a position and not a person. And I become God, and I gotta like wrangle up Earth and kind of get it back on track. So yeah, it's things like I think the first episode was gonna be me. I feel like I've already talked about this. I'm having like deja vu. But yeah, the first episode was gonna be me. Very like focused on proving that I don't hate the gays. Like all the Christians keep saying that, like, oh, God's against gay marriage, and it's like, no, we gotta change that rhetoric. I am not against gay marriage. We gotta tackle this. Cause like there's a bunch of other things that God could have fixed, but he didn't. Then there's like what do I call them? Goopies and Gundies, the general underworld directors and general upper worlds, like heaven and hell. They're like other departments in the same building. Yeah. That's one of those ideas I feel like I had more fleshed out in my head, and now I've just forgotten all of it. Pedophiles are into every other type of file. Just spit on my Xbox controller to start the buttons, have to leave it up. Taliban makes my life seem better. Yeah, there's a lot in here that's just not good. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna stop just reading rambling notes to you. It's just I'm entertaining myself in the slightest, like in the least, I guess. But yeah, probably not so much you guys. So I'm just gonna say thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this big episode 50. Thanks for sticking around for 50 episodes. Yeah, hopefully next week I got something better for you guys. I've been saving articles of things I want to talk about. And I just haven't gotten down to like actually writing stuff down. I've got an idea for a podcast with Ethan that I've just got to like do the research for and write that stuff down. And Ethan and I have some things to work on for the 1 year anniversary to get that out. So, hopefully things go uphill from here. But you never know. I keep saying that every week, and then I just release like the exact same podcast every single week. So, hopefully you guys are still enjoying them. Hopefully these random disjointed stories provided some entertainment for whatever you're doing today. But other than that, take it easy, folks. And Aaron out.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Now take what you learned and have a great day. Damn, it feels good to air out.